Hey, that was Sleepy Hollow featuring Fouché, Deep, and Freestyle. Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld Show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It is the one, the only Trinidadi Panamanian Poppy Rude Boy Top Gunna Suck Pan Yamada Giovanni Anglin. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Yo, what's going on? It's Bashing this, recording live from Queens. Gio's in Brooklyn. What's going on, folks?
And before we get to the show, we just have a couple bills to pay. We want to thank everyone once again for tuning in to Black Seinfeld. We have a website, blackseinfeld.com, where you can get all of our latest episodes, all of the past episodes as well. We are available on all podcasting platforms such as Stitcher Radio and iTunes, Podomatic, Spotify, all of the big players in the game. We are all available on all of those platforms. So please just look it up, Black Seinfeld. 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be there. So whatever podcast platform you use, Black Seinfeld is there. We got your back. Also, YouTube is coming back real soon. YouTube.com/Black Seinfeld. We should be there as well. If you want to send us some music, if you'd like to send us a message, if you have a comment, a question, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com is for you to do that at. And with that, let's start the show. Hi, Bastion. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You sound... are you cold, bro? Because I hear something in the background.
Yeah, I got the heater on because it's getting a little bit... I can say it's getting a little bit confusing because when the heat was on this morning, it was too hot, so I turned off for the whole day. But now it's nighttime, and now it's just a little bit ice.
Yeah, it feels like this weather right now, this feels like a desert. Because that's how deserts are. When the sun is out, it gets really hot, but then when the sun goes down, it gets below freezing temperatures because there's nothing there in the desert.
Yeah, nothing's really absorbing the heat and keeping it there. Unlike, New York City summer times where it's just hot throughout the whole entire day. I could just say, I think it's just how the earth is facing towards the sun. That's why we got that heat. But all year round, especially near the equator, it's just pure sun. So yeah, it felt like that today. It's just New York City going through its, I call it its normal winter, where it could be really nice, where you could walk outside in a nice leather jacket like you got on right now.
Thank you.
And then when you're on your way home, you're gonna have some chest pains.
Absolutely. I saw some people outside that got a bit too excited with their wardrobe. I saw some shorts, definitely. I saw some shorts. I saw some short sleeves.
I'm starting to understand the concept of shorts, especially in cold weather. Like, if you know you're going to be outside maximum 10 minutes, I think it might be fine to wear shorts. If you're already wearing shorts in the house, and it has to be already like cargo shorts, like outdoor shorts that you're just wearing indoors because you don't want to wear pajamas anymore. But if you're going like on the train with those shorts, time out.
I've seen these on the train today.
Time out.
Yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from, though. If this is like, hey, I'm going to the bodega real quick, I will be back in the next 10 minutes. Cool. But and I know there's a good chunk of time where that isn't the case. And whenever there's a bit of warmer weather, but you still need to put on something, there is a bit of exposed ankles that walk around these streets, and I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I feel the same exact way. But it's all good. It's all good. I wanted to tell you something that I recently copped the other day. And I promise you this isn't an ad. This is just like the way the headphone culture is going on, especially these past few years, especially since iPhones no longer give you like the wired headphones like they used to when you used to buy the phone. Now you have to kind of buy the headphones separately, like the AirPods and the AirPods Pro. Yeah. So for the past year, I've been using the AirPods Pro, and the number one problem I have with it doesn't fit in my ear, and it keeps falling out. I don't know if you listeners have the same issues. Gio, what do you currently use?
I have the headphones that you gave me, and two, I just have the regular Apple headphones that you get with the iPhone, so I still have those wired headphones too. My AirPods, they're done for. The battery dies within the first 30 minutes, so I don't use those anymore.
It's just like the Gen ones.
Yeah, those are the Gen ones, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're up to like Gen 3 right now. Maybe Gen 4. No, no, I think they're up to Gen 4 because they no longer come with little earbuds anymore. They're little plastic tops. So I've been seeing a lot of commercials, a lot of celebrities advertising for the Beats Fit Pro. So I ended up doing some research on it, and I heard that they had like the same technology as the AirPods Pro. So all right, this might be a shady investment because it's Beats, and we spoke about Beats before,
That
maybe
is
back in
true.
our college days, how I crap on them, how I think they're just a great design for headphones, but never had the technology that the price matches. So if you want some nice, expensive $300 AKGs compared to like $300 Studio Beats back in 2015, you're definitely going to feel the difference,
Remember,
especially in quality.
you remember 10 years ago, niggas was getting robbed for their Beats headphones? Like people would just snatch them off the head in the train stations. Crazy times,
Yeah,
huh?
that's what I mean. It's like you'll snatch these headphones. Imagine that you're a rapper and you listen to them. It's like, you know what? These headphones are kind of garbage. And
Yeah.
I seen that. I'd seen people comment on it. It's like, oh, nice headphones because I think the studios were the smaller ones.
Yes.
And
And they
it's
were
like,
more
yeah,
affordable. They were like 99 to around 129.
150, 150-ish. Yeah. My older brother copped them, so that was like my first time like trying them on and listening to certain music.
Right. It's like, ooh, I feel like Dre.
I was just more disappointed by how they felt on the ear.
Mm.
But like I said, I just don't have a good history with Beats Pro. I mean, with Beats in general. And I was like, all right, this is risky. I'm going to join the Beats game only because they said it has the same technology. As you know, Apple bought Beats a long time ago.
Right.
And in the iconic Tyrese leak on Facebook post, revealing the first black billionaire, I can never forget that. He almost lost the deal. Um, and I've tried it out, and I've been using it for the past 2 weeks. AKA, this is my YouTube YouTube intro, and I'm surprised how good it is. And I think the selling factor for me is how it just sticks into my ears because it has a little nub on it,
Mm.
so I can actually like run around. Hence the Beats Fit Pro
The,
that they call it.
does it hook on your ear or?
No, it's still in. It's in ear. It's in ear. Everything's in ear, and there's no hook. I think that I hate the like the outside hook. It's either you do it like a necklace where it's a magnetic end, or you just go like straight up in your ear and that's it.
Mm. Um,
So surprisingly, Sebastian says like it's a thumbs up. Like all those commercials you're going to see for the next year and a half with the Beats Pro fit. Yeah, it's surprisingly really good. It's very clear. I do a lot of phone calls with it, especially in my profession. So
I'm kind of disappointed. I know this is our last week of Black History Month that you didn't want to go, the black route and invest in, one of the great visionaries of our times as headphones, Ray J's, Raycons. I'm kind of disappointed in that, sir.
Ray J Raycons.
Yes.
Wait, he made the Raycons? No way.
Yeah, that's Ray J's company, man.
Raycons? Really?
Yes, man. All the YouTubers talk about it. That's always sponsored by Raycons.
No way.
Yeah, bro, that's all Ray J. See, I always say it always goes back to Ray J. Always. Raycons, Ray J. What do you think the Ray and Raycon standing for? Standing for Ray J.
Oh, are they good?
I honestly don't know. But there's so many advertisements on Raycons that it does have me curious about them. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, no, you're right. Because what you said is true. Because once I'm on YouTube all day, every day, every now and then, especially last year, there was a Raycon commercial, and I'm like, wow, those look ugly, and they're probably not good because they're using commercials through like my favorite YouTubers.
Right.
I'm not interested in it.
It's like Raid
That's
Shadow Legends and then Raycons.
exactly, and I'm pretty sure the check is nice, so they're gonna talk about it. The technology is pretty much the same like every other headphone technology that you can find on Amazon.com. So no matter where it's coming from. So I thought it was just one and the same. They just has a better marketing budget.
I mean,
But
Ray J's good at marketing, man.
you're right. Maybe if I knew, I would have tried to cop them before.
I honestly
It's
thought
like,
you knew this, man. My bad.
no, no, like I understand like what Ray J is doing in terms of his own scooter. I knew about that.
Oh yeah, the Scooty bikes. Aren't they
The
like
Scooty
10
bikes.
grand for the Scooty bikes?
I think like 5, 6. Like you would just sell a couple of them, you're good for a month. That was his
Right.
kind of his explanation. You sell high. No, you sell a valuable product where you could sell like at least 10 per month and you'll be good.
Yeah, I think that was a Vince Staples conversation. I could be wrong, but also it could
He
also
said
be
that
he was on the
in
Breakfast
in
Club,
his
maybe.
interviews.
Yes,
It was the Breakfast Club.
it was
yeah.
the speaking of Ray J though, I was going over some of Ray J's greatest hits, and I'm not talking about music, but don't get it messed up, people. Ray J has some musical hits, but I was looking at a lot of classic Ray J interviews, specifically the famous 2011 Ray J rant where he calls up and he's going off on Fabulous, and it's still to this day, more than 10 years later, it's still one of the best rants I've ever heard in radio ever in this culture.
You think that's what radio is missing right now?
The radio is missing Ray J. Absolutely, they're missing a classic rant.
So that was just like my little tidbit on the Beats Fit Pro. I used to talk more about headphones as of late, but
Yeah.
I haven't really bought much besides like Audio Technicas for the show. Like those are the standard $150 headphones. I think are good enough to listen to music. But these headphones are pretty good. $200 is a little bit priced out especially for a lot of people, but I like it so far. Like I said, I'm like 2 weeks, 3 weeks into it, these headphones, and it's pretty interesting.
That's good, man. I had a
And some
manager.
audio technologies.
My manager, she recently got the new Apple headphones, the wireless headphones, and apparently they're like noise canceling. I don't know what. I think it's the latest edition, and it was noise canceling, and she swears by it. She thinks it's great.
Yeah, it has the same technology as that, so it does have like really good noise canceling.
Mm-hmm.
I used to. I went on the train the other day. I don't remember where to,
What? Bastion's on the
And-
train?
and I ended the noise canceling, and I could say it was very, very good. So yeah, definitely top tier. And do you know how noise canceling technology works?
I honestly don't.
So it's like it uses the mic that you have like in order to talk to and listens for all the surroundings in the outside, and it kind of like copies on itself in order to block that sound. So everything that it's like coming through the mic, all that extra noise, it's just blocking that. That's kind of how the headphone noise blocking technology works.
Oh shoot. See, I don't like that, especially on the NYC trains, because it's getting real down there. I like to be aware of my surroundings. So noise canceling, in theory, beautiful. But I like to be aware of my surroundings.
I was like you in the past when I told people about this, especially back then the Sony headphones were the more popular noise canceling headphones, the overheads.
Yeah.
And like once you go noise canceling, you can never go back. Like once you're in that deep space where you can finally listen to your podcast over the sound of Showtime, and over the sound of the train tracks and
Yeah.
trains moving very loudly, you're just going to stick to it. You're going to be more aware because you're going to be looking around more often. But if you could take that small sacrifice of sound, you take it. You'll take it, especially if you're sitting down. You're sitting down. You can look
yeah.
around. You're vigilant. But yeah, what's that term like when people they don't get caught slipping out there? Okay,
Don't get caught lacking out there.
lacking too.
Yeah.
I haven't said that term in a minute. I'm 2 years staying home. I'm never lacking.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of nuts that a lot of people are still staying home and working from home and able to produce while working at home at it's still at a high level than what they would do when they're working in the office. You know, Eric Adams recently said in an interview, you know, about his opinion on working home remote, and he said that it's been 2 years, stop working in your PJs. Humans are wired, are structured to interact with each other. You know, how do you feel about what our illustrious mayor had to say about remote work?
Well, personally, I have my own feeling about remote work. I do think remote work works best if you're busy, if you have like a family, you know, kids, and especially a household to take care of. Being in that environment where you're able to pay attention at your home and still able to communicate with your work and do the work, I think is great. Me and like young, you know, I have no kids. I really have no real responsibilities besides just making paper. Like I don't need the remote access. Like I feel more comfortable working in the office or in a room. You know, like I'm comfortable at home. Like yeah, like not driving back and forth or taking public transportation for a total of like 2 hours and 30 minutes a day is amazing. But I do need that extra like push because the pressure. Like, I work really well under pressure.
Yeah, and
I'm a deadline type person.
You don't have enough steps in you too, because you just home all day.
Exactly. It's like you have to already be a responsible person for the remote work to work really well. So if you know how to plan out your day without wasting it and you know wasting it like past 6 p.m. Then you're good. But if not, that you need like I need to get to work by 8 o'clock so I'm not late and I get right up. Like yeah, that pressure pushes you out of bed real quick. You know, the same thing we could talk about like in school. Right? If the doors open at 7:50 and you start getting the late notes at 8:05, you're trying to get there at 7:45 so you don't even have to deal with anything just in case something happens.
Yeah, just so that you're comfortable.
Just so you get comfortable. You know that extra 5 minutes is not in a rush and you're chilling in front of the school. That's comfortable too. So that's my opinion on remote. Like, what's your thoughts?
My thought is, I feel like if you're able to continue to do the work and doing the work at a high level, which I feel like you've been doing, I don't know if you would agree with that. I feel like if people are able to continue to do the work and they found ways to work around from going in an office and doing it at home, I feel like it should be an option to work from home. Honestly, if work production is getting better, or it's staying the same and the overall morale of your workers are like, you know, I prefer working from home. I feel like that should be a real option nowadays.
Yeah, I do agree. I know I spoke with some people recently, and they do prefer this kind of hybrid where a couple days home, a couple days at work. Definitely more beneficial. I do think it's really beneficial for people that don't have cars either. We're in this car heavy society, and if you require less driving, you're not spending so much of money on gas, etc. You know, oil changes is due to mileage as well. So yeah,
Train fare as well. You don't have to use that bum ass Omni thing. You don't have to spend your money on the Metro card. You don't have to do any of that. You know, you got some money to save.
Did I ask you this question before? Are you using your phone as a swipe?
I am not using my freaking phone as a swipe yet. And I've been holding off on it until they actually get rid of the damn Metro card, which is coming soon. I think that should be it. We planned out another episode, Bash, and we were talking off air. We planned out an episode, the damn Omni card. We're going to talk about it one day.
Okay. I'm just letting you know I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it.
I
Using
can't
my phone.
stand this crap because, again, I have the wire headphones too. So I don't want to go in my pockets, get the thing out, and no. I just, you know, wallet out, Metro card, boom. You know, it's going to be a relic soon.
We could talk about NFC soon.
Definitely.
NFC technology.
It's going to be a relic sooner or later, so people stock up on your Metro cards, okay? Because they could be worth something.
Yeah, plastic. Anyways,
yeah, man.
let's get into some fun topics.
Fun
or I
topics?
could say
Oh,
interesting topics.
Definitely interesting topics. This is topics that I'm passionate about. And before I divulge in this topic, I want to preface by saying, when I begin talking about this, I just want to be on the surface of things. I don't want to go deep into specifics. That's not what Black Seinfeld is about. Black Seinfeld, we do not snitch over here. Okay, if you want to, learn about everything that's really happening, go watch the YouTube. Okay, watch the white people that do that. We don't do that here. Okay, it's Black History Month. Okay, we stand with our brothers. I'm putting up a fist for everyone on YouTube. If some of y'all can't watch this, so I'm just throwing up the Black Power sign. But anyways, I started this conversation off with a good friend of mine, Felipe Luciano Jr., on Saturday on his show Latin Roots, and the topic was our newly mayor of New York City, Eric Adams' war on drill music, on specifically the New York City drill music scene. And so before we get into that, I think it's great to rewind the clock back a little bit, back to 2007, specifically September 11th, 2007. And that sort of would create the timeline of where rap music is today. Okay, so September 11th, 2007 was the day in which a lot of writers, a lot of bloggers, and a lot of people who are in the culture say that, gangster rap as we knew it then died when our Kanye West, and yes, we're talking about Kanye right now. Oh, you're talking about Kanye too much. Whatever, it's part of the story. Kanye West outsold Curtis 50 Cent Jackson in album sales. Graduation beat Curtis, okay? And that was a major feat, because during that era, gangster rap was still a thing, and 50 Cent was still waving the flag of gangster rap. Back then, some people in the culture were looking at Kanye West, one, as a backpacker, two, as a weirdo with a backpack and polo tees. But now, that Kanye beat 50 Cent in this record sale battle, it really cements the fact that, hey, if you want to be successful in hip hop, you necessarily don't have to be a gangster, right? Through that, there's been a lot of artists who have come out who have been really successful that really didn't portray like the street life or the thug life. You had cats like Kid Cudi, right? In 2009, you had Drake coming up. You have guys like J. Cole. You had guys like Wale, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar. 2010, you had this skinny, tatted up kid all the way from Pittsburgh and Wiz Khalifa. You had Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. You had all these cats come in and they were able to make a really good living for themselves with hip hop and rap music, and they were able to get really big. And I think it's fair to say that not many of those gentlemen portrayed themselves to be gangster rappers at all. Bastion, would you agree with me on this? Stop me if I'm not making sense. Okay, cool.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. So let's fast forward over to 2012, and there's a little scene that's been popping up in Chicago, right? It's called drill music, and some people that are leading the charge, really the one person that people think of when they hear of Chicago drill music is the 16-year-old kid named Chief Keef. And he had songs like Don't Like, Finito, Love Sosa. And so that, Bastion, was the start of the whole Chicago drill scene. And kids that were our age or even younger, because 10 years ago we were still 16 years old, 17 years old, 2012. That started to become one of the cool things to listen to. That became one of the in things to listen to. As I was growing up and working in kitchens, I realized that there was a lot of drill music going on. So, of course, you guys had guys like Chief Keef, but you also had cats like Lil Durk, Lil Reese, FBG Duck. you had that scene really start taking off, and I'll never forget when, again, Kanye West put Chief Keef on his Cruel Summers album, the Good Music Presents Cruel Summer album back in 2012, where he redid the whole Don't Like beat and he had Chief Keef on it. This was when I was like, okay, like, they're starting to take this thing pretty serious. Like, this is really starting to get somewhere, right? And I think what drill music did was it brought back a sense of authenticity when it comes to rap music or hip hop, because I think sometimes fans just likes dangerous stuff, and it's not just kids from our background, but it's a lot of suburban kids too. Let's not play
People
stupid.
like realness or the idea of realness.
Right, but also let's not play stupid. Suburban kids like dangerous crap, like Chief Keef, okay? Because it's something that they're not
realness.
used to. Yeah, realness, authenticity of being real. I mean, okay, I'm not snitching because this is everywhere. He shot at a damn cop and he got away. Well, he didn't get away with it, but he was on house arrest, but he was only 16, like hearing stuff about that and watching videos of just him on house arrest rapping, I think that really like got some of the kids like excitement, like holy, he's like one of the realest ever. It's like when we were young, we were like 8 years old and we found out 50 Cent got shot 9 times and he came back and he started rapping and going at everyone who shot him. It was like, it's something like that, it's like an equivalent. So with the rise of drill music, you start to see different states and different countries have their own wave of drill music, such as UK drill beats, right? And I'll never forget when drill music really came into prominence here in New York, and I want to say at least a good 2015. It was this cat by the name of 22Gs, right? And the reason why he got big was because he would take the UK drill beats. It was sort of fast-paced, heavy bass beats, and he would rap over them, right? And so, he's rapping about like Brooklyn stuff, and and the fact that him belonging to a group that really isn't common here in New York, here in Brooklyn. I think that's what got people interested in hearing more about the Brooklyn scene, specifically when it comes to 22Gs and his group, right? And of course, when it comes to hip hop, there's different lingo, there's different ways of saying things, and the lingo it is catchy, and the dances that they do, they be some fly ass dances. I'm not gonna lie, like they be some fly ass dances. Of course, people who are enemies of 22Gs in that group, they have their own way, they have their own styles, and you have cats just like Pop Smoke and Fabio Foreign and Busy Banks and Kuda B. And so you got to really understand and see the growth of the New York, Brooklyn specifically drill sound. I think one of like the earlier pioneers of that whole thing before 22Gs was back in 2013, a year after like the Chicago drill scene was getting huge. And that was a little kid with the dance by the name of Bobby Shmurda and the whole GS9 clique with Hot Trigger, because whatever, it's Black History Month. Hot Nigga, of course. And then
I remember seeing that song perform
right
when I went to see I forgot the festival. It was a small hip hop festival. That's where I saw Jay Electronica and Jay-Z, and Jay-Z gave Jay Electronica the chain. And then at the end of the show, Raekwon was rapping, and then Raekwon brought out Bobby Shmurda, literally maybe 2 months before they constantly was playing his music on Hot 97. Literally 2 months. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it was crazy how mainstream they were able to get, because like Beyonce was doing the shmoney dance, Justin Bieber was doing the shmoney dance, everyone was doing this damn shmoney dance. One of my favorite songs to come out of the Bobby era was featuring Rowdy Rebel, which is like his right hand man, and that was Computers. And for those of you who don't remember that track, you know, it's the whole I think that I'm Tom Cruise meme. That was that song, Computers. So I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, it really also started with Bobby Shmurda, Rowdy Rebel, and the GS9 clique. Then we all know what happened. They went away for 7 years, and then boom, 2015 happened, and 22G's drops Suburban and Suburban Part 2. So that's where we're at with the Brooklyn drill scene. And so now let's talk about the crime rate rising here in New York City, right? Because ever since the pandemic, I'm just going to speak frankly, there has been a rise in crime, right? Newly elected Mayor Eric Adams gets sworn in on New Year's Eve into the New Year's Day. And, you know, he's a former New York City Police Department officer, and he wants to really start to crack down on New York safety. And he wants to understand why these crimes are happening. So, his son, who, by the way, Bastion, I didn't know if you know this, but he works for Rock Nation.
What?
I know. I read about this. This little snitch works for Rock Nation.
It's not really a snitch. I think his dad asked him a question, and he's showing videos like, yeah, it's a bit wild out here.
Right, but using the music as the scapegoat of, hey, this is the reason why crime rate in New York City, this music is the reason why crime in New York City is the way that it is. I think that's unfair.
I think that he was using it as a context of one of the reason why. Or he went to explain the acts of violence that the music videos were pertaining to, especially in social media, making them very access for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was, I don't want to, like, I read a couple articles on that particular conversation. It was just like a quick one-liner, but through the context of what he said, that's what I assumed it was for. You know, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
That's fair. And see, I didn't want to assume that because of what the articles were saying. Because he was saying, Eric Adams was saying at least, this is the reason why New York City crime rates were rising. And that's where I had to go, Erks! And so that brings to us this whole war of the New York rap drill scene, right? And so Eric Adams initially wanted, he said in a press conference, like, he was like, hey, social media was able to ban Donald Trump out here when he was wilding out and he was enforcing this riots. We should be able to do the same when it comes to this New York drill music. It's infecting our communities. It's creating all this violence. We don't want New York City radio. We don't want New York radio to be playing any of this drill music. Blase blah. And I had an issue with that because I don't like the fact that whenever there's a spike in crimes, I don't like the fact that the first initial reaction is, or the scapegoat is, oh, it's rap music, like it's rap music's fault. I hate that scapegoat because I feel like a lot of the times politicians like blaming just one thing on a particular thing rather than understanding the core root and the core problems of how things actually started. Yeah, I don't like how he does that. I don't like how politicians do that. So I feel like, yeah, it's just
it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like they just come in the same thing, but I think it's more frustrating because it's more of a repetitive history. The minute you heard him say that, you're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that, especially during the pandemic, right? I think that's where a lot of this stuff really started happening, is because people were out of jobs, people are unemployed, people were isolated, people were depressed, people were committing suicide at a higher rate.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of things happening during the pandemic where it really caused a lot of stuff to happen, and I don't think that's being fully addressed either, like, at all.
Okay. So what else do you think? I remember you were explaining, we had a previous conversation about, you were talking about how like different things with the woo. Could you explain that?
But what specifically would do you want to know?
Well, you said there was a timeline of when certain conversations where certain activities were happening. Do you not want to talk about that?
Nah, not really. Not really. No. Nah, I don't think that's for us to talk about. But
Okay.
I will say this though, right? There is a connection, right, to some of the music and some of the violence that you might see in New York City. There is. Okay, let's not act like, this is all like smoke and mirrors, and this, I don't want to act like it's all roses and candy, because there is a link in it, because in the music, a lot of the times the artists would talk about the people who they have problems with in the music videos. They'll talk about it on wax, and similar to rap, those artists will respond, but sometimes a lot of it goes out of hand, because you have to think about it like this: a lot of those artists that are a part of that, they're all kids, they're all teenagers. Pop Smoke was 20. Fabio's probably one of the oldest people. He's like 31. 22G's is in his early 20s. Nick Blicky's in his early 20s. T. Wu, R.I.P. They're all in their early 20s, and I don't think that's something that people are honestly taking into account. A lot of this stuff that's happening, they're all in their early 20s. Some are in their late 20s.
So
at best, a lot of them are in their teens still.
So the conversation is, Eric Adams is creating, or the conversation for drill music, and trying to figure out how to maybe even, not, I won't say control, but definitely try to censor, or at least understand like why certain music videos have, I can say, the violence in them. Wouldn't it be best to kind of try to remove it? What's your thoughts on just like blocking it from the radio in order for it not to be as popular anymore?
Well, again, Eric Adams shows his age, because radio isn't that oh damn, and I'm on radio. I don't think radio is that significant when it comes to music that much anymore. Things don't really break on radio that much. There isn't that many songs that you hear that break on radio anymore. You hear songs that break off of TikTok. You hear songs that break off of YouTube, right? I don't think music and radio, it doesn't really do much anymore, because not many people would actively listen to the radio.
Okay,
like that.
But even if it's not radio, just finding a different way to control the outlet, making sure certain song topics don't get popular, right? Because that's kind of the conversation that's being having today. There is an increase in gun violence, and it is being connected to younger people rapping about it within their music, because they're flaunting it, rap snitches, rap knishes. Right. And it is a problem, but he is pretty much focusing on this, like, all right, if people are pretty much bragging about the crime that they're doing in music, there's opportunity, or there's something that we need to do, and hence we need to have a discussion. That's why the other day he had a meeting with Who did he had a meeting?
He had a meeting with Mano. He had a meeting with Fabio Foreign. He had a meeting with a lot of drill rappers so they can understand what drill music is, what it's doing for the community. Because whether people want
What is it doing for the community?
Because whether people want to believe it or not, a lot of drill rappers, they're getting the hell up out of the hood. You know, they're like these people are finding ways to like get out of that life, and they're doing it through the music. I think the whole censorship thing when it comes to certain things should and should not be discussed. I think that's playing a very dangerous game of censorship. That's just how I feel about it. So that's
The censorship comes out of situations that are uncontrollable, because even if I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but also playing as the person in New York City that sees it. I don't listen to drill music. It doesn't do anything for me. I
do
listen to the popular ones. I see the music videos. All right. But I don't pay attention to it personally. Young 27. I understand a lot of younger people who are 20 years old will have a nice single, and then when you check their records, they got a gun charge on them. Like, what does that say? What's your thoughts on that? Like, the newer artists, it could be one or two, but they go popular with charges on them already.
Well, you know what, Bastion? I'm gonna talk about it, okay? So I remember 10 years ago, right? Before the whole Wu thing really started, there was a group that was formed around where I'm from, right? And that was like the precursor to what we all know today as the Wu, right? And so I remember when I went into school on a particular day, it had to have been like January, and my English teacher was like, "Hey, there was a raid that happened, and a lot of former students got picked up by the police, and they're getting locked up. They're going to Rikers, right?" And he was like, and he looked at me dead in my eyes, and he was like, "Giovanni, what is it that we can do as a school to better the community, right? What is it that we can do to prevent things like this from happening?" And I felt like he wanted a real honest answer out of me, and what I remember this to this day. I was like, honestly, it's like, you guys can't do anything about it. And the reason why I said it is because, listen, at the end of the day, like, I understand that you're a teacher and you actually love what you do. We actually rock with you. We actually love you because you love us. But you have to understand something. One, we live here, okay? And the things that we see around our community is our norm, okay? Listen, check this out. I'll let you in on a secret. Half of them don't want to do what they're doing, but it's what they see every day. That's all they know. You understand? Where I'm from, we have the most projects throughout the borough. Like, that's where I'm from. And that's our norm. That's where we're used to seeing every day. So it's easy for us to get scooped up in the BS if you don't have that foundation. There's no foundation there. So it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. So no matter what you want to try to do, there's nothing really you can do. We're still here at the end of the day. And that's the hard reality about it. Not everyone can make it out. Not everyone can make it out. So if you want to fix something, if you want to fix it, right, you'd have to fix it from within, right? You would have to start doing some real changes within the community itself. You understand? People would actually have to give a damn. And people don't give a damn. So when all the BS starts happening and y'all want to blame it on them, oh, look at what they're doing. No, we're just doing what black people do all the time. We're taking that we've been given and we're making ribs out of it. Unfortunately, there's going to be couple fat there. It's not gonna be perfect, but the general basis of what it is, it's now become popular. Hence, we saw freaking Fabio Foreign in the damn Down to 2 listening session. Drill music, Brooklyn drill music. And that's what I told him. So what do you think?
No, I completely agree. I think it's important that you emphasize that this is what people know. This is the radius where they live in, for 10, 15, 20 years. This is where they're going to stay. This is where they're going to visit family as well, and even friends. Especially what you're seeing older people do, you might think that is the only choice for you anyways. It might be even easier getting towards that direction because you have someone mentoring you. Even mentor wouldn't be the proper term, but someone's going to show you the way, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to see how it's done and you're going to figure it out for yourself because that's what other people are doing. And it's important that people understand. It's like you can't blame it on
the
art,
kids,
right? You can't blame it on art. You could pretty much blame it on the situation at hand because if you look at how other countries or other places in the world, where I'll just use the term ghetto, if you look at what their situation is and how they're reacting to it, how come it's all similar and we're not even in the same position, right?
Right.
Like you look through the Midwest, you look all to the West, you go all the way to South America, you go all the way to Africa, you go all the way anywhere that has a term like a type of ghetto. There's still crime, there's still violence, and there's still, this youth running up the streets. Like, why? Like, it's not like we all had the same phone call and we all decided to do the bad thing. This is pretty much the cause and effect in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to kind of push you, Giovanni, to kind of get there. Because I do think it's important to touch on that before even getting into the war and drill music. Because Eric Adams, he's a cop. For him to say, for this to be one of the first things he said, like, oh, my son, like, no, I didn't know what drill music was. Like, no, you knew what it was. This was your way there. Luckily, we have rappers like Mano that will, like, run up on you, right? And literally say, like, hold up. Wait a minute. You're trying to censor a cry for help, which is what the music is.
Yeah.
That's literally and as you said, like, you're gonna make your opportunities, you're gonna try to figure out how to make your ribs out of it, right?
Exactly.
That's how the essence of hip hop was created, through the core of the Bronx, of what was going over there.
Right. None of them actively want to do the stuff that they're doing. Trust me. They tell me I don't want to do this. These kids grew up wanting to live like the crap you see on Disney Channel. Hell, I wanted that life. But that's not the reality that we live in. You understand? And I really hate it. And I think that's the generational disconnect right there too. Right? Where art is always an imitation of life, right? So drill is what you're seeing. You're seeing that art. You're seeing that life being played to you within 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 3 minutes. And that's the reality of it. I don't even think
it's generational disconnect. I do think it has to do more with classism, racism, prejudice, and how they look at poor people, because anything associated with that is deemed bad. Because if you go back to every single type of form of music, which was like 2 or 3 generations ago, like I'm pretty sure Eric Adams' generation is literally hip hop. Like he was in the 20s and the 70s, right?
Right.
That's the generation for it. So, and they were already, giving it 2 thumbs down the minute it was created, the minute it was on the airwave. So, and you could go further back with the blues, and once it's like, not the blues, what we call non-secular music.
Non-secular music? Wait, like what, gospel?
That's, non-gospel music.
Oh, so no, it is secular music.
Secular, my fault. Secular. So when like the Chitlin circuits where they would have to play those type of music.
You mean like jazz music?
Jazz and all those type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was looked down upon
Right.
too, and that happened like 60 years ago, 70 years ago, even further back before recording records on a vinyl. This
Right.
is the same generation over and over, and we're just gonna keep blaming the next art piece that comes out of it.
Right. Yeah, I remember hearing that jazz was looked at as like devil music, right? It was looked at as
Anytime
as blasphemy. Rock music as
Yeah.
well, anything
Yeah, rock
that's
music.
anything that's like anti-establishment, anti-status quo is looked at as, blasphemous.
Yeah, anything secular.
Yeah, anything
So
secular.
yeah, so like to continue the topic and let the listeners know, Eric Adams, I won't say this is a war on drill music, but he definitely made a claim
Right.
that did kind of it woke up a lot of people.
Yeah, he
I
tried to
could say.
paint it that way, like, oh nah, we're gonna try and get drill music up out of here because this is what's causing the crime rates in New York City. Although we're seeing stories that homeless people are stabbing people and stuff, but no, it's drill music's fault. All right, cool story, bro. All right,
Yeah,
tired of-
if the panic button, if there was like two buttons, like he definitely pressed the first panic button, and the second one would be like a reaction button.
yeah,
But I am interested to see how he will discuss it, or if anything, how he'll bring it out, like bring it to discussion when he's talking about certain music. Because recently, I watched the documentary about the soul singers that happened in 1969 that Questlove filmed the other like I think it was like early last year. Do you know about that?
no, I
documentary?
don't. Please let me know.
So it happened in 1969. It had a lot of soul singers come in Harlem.
Oh shoot, the Summer of Soul.
The Summer of Soul.
I
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
you not. I saw that on Hulu the other day. Yes, I saw it on Monday because we were off on President's Day. Yes, I saw that. Yes, I saw it. I saw
you
it.
saw
I
it.
saw
My
it. I
fault,
saw
my
it.
fault.
I saw it. Yes, I'm sorry. I did
Yeah,
see
Summer of Soul. And I thought it was done very well because it didn't just talk about the festival.
You
It
saw
also
it.
spoke about how the festival started and what it was built up to and why people were there and why they felt obligated to go there.
Right.
Of course, it was a lot of like, hey, come through. We'll pay you X amount. But once they were there, they understood what was going on. 1969, a couple years after Malcolm died, a lot of their political leaders died. They just felt obligated to kind of do this, and that's kind of how I feel at a certain point. Like maybe they could do something
Oh.
where everybody could kind of be put together. I
Oh,
don't know.
oh, they tried to do that, Bastion, and you know what Rolling Loud said? Yeah, get the f off the stage. Remember
The Rolling
that?
Loud incident definitely should be something brought up more in that situation.
Right. Well, we could
Because
talk about it.
It was very strange. I remember when that incident happened, and do you want to tell the people what happened? I
Right.
think it's like back in 2018.
So 2019, right? New York
2019.
finally had their own Rolling Loud festival, right? And what made it big was the fact that, since this is going to be in New York, we're going to have a lot of New York-based rappers part of this Rolling Loud, right? So that involved a lot of drill rappers as well. So you got cats like Chef G, and you had, you had people on the opposite side too, like 22Gs and Fabio Foreign and all of them too. But cops didn't want there to be a problem. So what they did was they got rid of those acts, those drill artists. So there was no Sleepy Hollow, there was no Chef G, there was none of them active at all that was going to perform. So a lot of the New York rappers that were there, got 50 Cent, Fat Joe, stuff like that. It was none of the newer generation of artists that really started to put New York back on the map as far as music goes, as far as the rap scene goes. So that happened back in 2019, and now we have the Governor's Ball this year as well. Is there any New York based artists there? Any New York based drill rappers? No, not a fucking soul. I mean, I get it. Governor's Ball is a bit more affluent, but not a fucking soul is being represented. But I'm just stating out the obvious here.
Yeah, so this is kind of what's going on right now, and that's why I brought it up because the Harlem Cultural Festival, which is what it was called back in 1969, was a multi-week event, and they had like different artists like Fifth Dimension, Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone coming on and performing,
David
and
Ruffin.
pretty much having conversation with the audience as well to let them know like what was up. Jesse Jackson was there
Yeah.
too, just pretty much preaching because he was there when Martin Luther King died.
Right. And that was a year later, and he was talking about that day.
Yeah. So like this is kind of where my mind was going when this conversation with the whole drill music is bad, and it's like, all right, so like we got to create new New York culture. This is kind of how you do it. You have to create something for people to look forward to, even create. Because Afropunk was one idea that I did think back in 2013 was a good idea, but now I just think it's just a nonsensical festival
It's
that I
not
don't
non-
fully support anymore.
it's not nonsensical anymore, Bastion. It just grew into something that, it escaped from the original idea, you know?
It escapes so far from the original idea, but it is a very black heavy event. Every time I go
It
there,
is.
there are a lot of black people. So that is one thing, right?
That is an aspect in which I enjoy.
That's I agree, but it's not New York. No matter
Mm,
what, it's not New York. They don't call for New York local rappers like they
that is
used to.
true.
Because in the beginning of the day, it was like these no name, like you would see them on in like Soho rapping, and they perform at 1 p.m. But now there's like real bands that go on tour at 1
That
p.m.
is true. That is very true.
So I could,
Solange is going to be headlining the Afropunk Festival. I get it. That is true. They don't really do Battle of the Bands anymore, too, huh?
no, so that's just kind of like my quick commentary on it and like the future. We're talking about the past, we're talking about the present, and I'm talking about the future. In the future, I do see is trying to involve more music in a New York level where we could all like work together. Not in some like liberal way, but in some like, hey, as Jill was saying, it's a community thing. How can we help the community so we don't go down that path? And it's not a 1 year plan. It's not a 5 year solution. It's a long term solution.
It's an ongoing thing. You guys just can't come in with the frickin' check, a shake a hand, and just dip out. No, that's not how
Yeah,
this works. Okay, the
it's not
same
how it works.
the same way how you always invest in Park Slope and all that crap and Brooklyn Heights, the same way you put money into that, the same way you took all that money that was supposed to be meant for Harlem and you wanted to create billionaires way over in Hudson Yards. It's the same way you should do in the hood. So don't get upset when hood niggas do hood nigga stuff and you get upset and you want to blame the crime rate on the music. I hate it. I don't like it. It's like I hate when politicians do that. I hate when they do that. They always want to talk about the effects, never want to talk about the cause. Okay, let's get down to the root of it. Nope. Y'all are the reason why. I'm going to censor you. I hate it.
And it's a cycle. But I do think it's a little bit different compared to back then. I think now if a person or a politician has a comment on something, due to social media, people are quick to have a conversation about it, and the artist or anybody dealing with said category situation will be able to confront or even have a one-on-one meeting with the perpetrator or the politician
Right.
that said comment. So this is interesting. I don't know what these guys discussed. I don't think there was any video or article release saying like, oh, we've discussed this and this is how we're going to implement the next plan. But I do hope
Word.
there are future discussions because I do think the right people were there. Like I said, Mano, he definitely knows what's up.
Word.
He's been around the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mano shot Tupac.
Okay.
If you've seen the Tupac movie, then you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I am very interested to see the direction. This conversation was brought to me by like my cousin and one of my good friends, Kuji.
Oh, really?
He had, yeah, he brought up that discussion with me. It's like, yeah, it's like a lot of rappers have crime on them. Like they all have like gun charges on them. It's like, what does that even mean? It's like you're gonna come up with like a hit single, then go to jail. Like Pooh Shiesty's going to jail for like 12 plus years.
Yeah.
And he's like the hottest rapper, one of the hottest rappers of the last 3 years that
right.
popped off.
And I wanted to bring it back to that because as soon as Kanye killed gangster rapper immediately made a resurgence back, and you see a lot of artists now that are somewhat certified or somewhat real, authentic. So we don't even have to do drill. We have cats like Kodak Black. We got Pooh Shiesty. You have Young Dolph, R.I.P. You got Lil Baby. You got Da Baby. Need I say more about Da and Baby? You have all these rappers now that 21 Savage. Shout out to Lil Baby who sort of, he turned his life around, but let's not act like I remember Young Thug he was saying like he would beg Lil Baby to rap because Lil Baby was in them streets according to Young Thug. So yeah, you see this resurgence of gangster rap in a way. Like it's back again. It's like this circle. It's like this never-ending circle. So we're just waiting for some kid to come along who's authentic, and I don't know what he's gonna wear. Can't be polos anymore. I don't know. He's gonna wear some Yeezy slides or something, and he's gonna kill gangster rap again.
I do think it's a little bit different. Now we're definitely getting off topic, but I think
please speak.
It fills the conversation in terms of like the future of music, and yeah, you're right. It is a cycle, hip hop. Then it goes to let's say like Rakim-esque era. Then it's like back to gangster. Then you're like NWA. Then for a minute you get to Tupac, and then you're at like Common and Questlove,
the
Roots. And then that whole era, then you guide your way to Kanye, of course, and then we're in the Drake era, if anything. So we're not fully. I personally don't think we're fully in the gangster rap era. I do think that it is a genre of hip hop that is blossoming on its own, especially using social media. But I don't think it's going to hit the mainstream. So as long as you have like superstar, like Drake is a superstar, right?
Absolutely.
And he pretty much is like the face of rap music. We hate to say it, but it's true. Like he is the current chosen one.
That's fair.
Of like what rap music is. So in my opinion, I do think like the cycle will happen, but I don't think it'll be anything valid or permanent. So it's fine.
Okay, I'm not mad at that, Bastion.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Also, we're in the TikTok generation, so
that is true too.
Yeah, if you pop off on TikTok, they turn into industry plant real quick.
And there's a lot of drill beats that have been popping up on TikTok as well too. People would take like wholesome songs, sweet songs, like Paramore's "Into You," and just freaking dub it over a drill beat, and people are getting sturdy to this.
It's lit.
It is lit. It's lit. I don't know, Bastion. Do you want to stay on the Eric Adams conversation, what he's doing for the MTAs, or would you like to take a little bit of a break and then come back and talk about what Eric Adams is doing to help out the MTA crimes and homeless people?
Let's finish out the Eric Adams conversation because we don't really. I don't want to talk about him every month. I think last month.
Yeah, we talked about him once in January. I think that was like one of the first episodes back. And this is the second time we're actually talking about him. And this is the end of February. So I think we're doing pretty well
Black History Month. We're talking about Eric Adams.
Yes.
We can talk about any other black person in Black History Month. We're talking about Eric Adams.
I mean, we're going to talk about more black people after this. He's making
in the worst way possible. But Eric Adams is trying to clean up the MTA.
Yes, he is.
And to recap what he said the other day, he wants to make the MTA service safer and cleaner. So what he's going to do is ramp up the amount of police officers in the subway systems. As he said this last year too, so I wasn't surprised that this is something that he wanted to do. He did talk about during his younger days as a beat cop, he would be out there, he would be in the subways, like serving and protecting, quote unquote. So for him to go towards that direction as in more security in New York City as his number one priority, I'm just not surprised. I think just like many other people, we're just very focused on what is he going to do in terms of the police officers see homeless people and they're making them leave the subway train. How are they going to support them? Like, are they going to give them access a ride towards a shelter? And from there, it's like, what is the shelter could provide in order for them to get back into, a better living situation? Because most homeless people are trying to get back into a better situation.
Definitely. I know that Eric Adams is starting to implement that slowly. I know that he's using only a handful of train lines right now, like the 3 train, 2 train, A train, and what they're doing is at the end of the train line, their police are gonna have to kick out the homeless people that are occupying the trains. I know that they're going to be handing out summonses out the ass too, so please don't try and stretch your legs out on the train, in train seats. Try not to fall asleep at all, because your ass could get summons. That's what I was reading.
Sleep as in lying down on the bench, not
Right.
sleep like you're slumping. It's 5 p.m. after work.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help them out. Fair beaters, of course. People who want to get swipes. People who want to hop the train. Just be careful. The cop could be lurking right around the corner that you can't see him. Just be careful.
Yeah, you might need to stock the area before making the first jump.
Exactly, and always ask someone if they have an unlimited on them. Because I'm that guy. I'm that go-to. If someone asks, because I got the unlimited, I use my unlimited. See, I don't need.
I used to do that all the time too.
Right.
Especially coming off the E train, the last stop.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them on the E train.
Yeah, 179 too. They'd just be standing. I say, yo, you need to swipe. Shoot, done.
Yeah, good looks, bro.
169. Yeah. So yeah, it's like you're not harming anybody. Plus, it's unlimited, so I don't care.
Exactly. See, and that's why I don't use the bum ass app on the phone, because you don't get that.
That I understand. I'll still swipe somebody too. I'm not afraid to lose another 275.
Oh, nah.
I'm up for it.
I gotta save that. Nah, homie. See, I do it if I have the unlimited, because I don't mind.
I'm not out there like that, so I could,
Oh,
I'm not
see,
out there like
that makes sense. I'm out here, so I need that unlimited in my life. Okay, I don't want to keep
hear that,
getting
folks?
nickel
Gio's
and
out
dime.
here.
I'm outside. I'm pretty easy to find. Hopefully Mano can call in one of these days so we can talk to Mano. That would be a fun interview.
Politic on this radio.
No,
All right,
no,
so
I said Mano, not Eric Adams.
That's still politicking on the radio.
How?
We be politicking. You're not gonna ask them these type of questions about drill music and everything?
Yeah, that's Mano about it. Why not?
That's politicking. Anyways, yo, introduce the song of the week.
Okay, one of the songs of the week. We're taking a little pause for the cause here. And earlier on, I mentioned one of the pioneers for the New York drill sound, the New York drill wave, and that is 22G's. This is Suburban Part 2. And when we come back, we got a lot to talk about. That's all I'm going to say here. Stay tuned. You tune in the Black Seinfeld Show about nothing here on 99.5 FM WBAI New York. 22G Suburban Part 2. Kodak Black is not in jail, thankfully. He got shot though, but he's alive. He's still kicking.
Crazy.
It's Kodak Black, man. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm just happy he's alive.
He was pardoned by Trump.
Ain't
That's
that-
something.
Yeah. Kodak Black's one of
That's
the realest
something.
ever.
I tend to forget, but then remember. It's like, you got pardoned, bro. Relax.
That's right. He got pardoned. And here's the thing about Kodak. He's insanely talented. Like, again, 2021's Haitian Boy Kodak, as soon as he hopped out of jail and he dropped Haitian Boy Kodak, one of my favorites of 2021.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And my man started rapping in Creole and all that. What? I was like, damn, Kodak out here. Like, he really got musical talents. And then he got viral again on Barstool recently. Just rapping. Just saying the most crazy stuff. Well, not crazy. Just, just the most random stuff.
I feel you. Oh, the other day, Daft Punk was trending
I
because
know.
they tweeted out something.
I
It was
know.
because of the 25th anniversary of Homework. That was what it was for.
Yeah, Max, my friend Max confirmed it. For me, I got scared because I did see the Homework Daft Punk original logo that they came out with 25 years ago. So I know that this isn't a crypto or an NFT podcast, but I feel like we're slowly becoming that. I got scared and I thought, oh no, they're coming out with some Daft Punk NFT crap. I don't want it. That's where I immediately went to.
Interesting. Daft Punk NFT. Now someone's going to do it, Gio. You better run up on that idea real quick, make a quick buck. Be cool with scamming people. That's what NFT is all about. Anyways, let's talk about some music, right?
Let's get into some music, bud.
Let's talk about Big Crit.
Yes, the big KIRT is back, ladies and gentlemen, with the new album. I'm excited to hear from Big Crit because honestly, I feel like Big Crit doesn't get enough credit these days. When we talk about the Kendricks, when we talk about the Coles and the Drakes and the Wale's, the Big Sean's, Big Crit was a part of that class too. You Only Live Twice back in 2017 was one of my favorite albums of that year, and that was a double LP. That is rare nowadays. It's hard to come out with a great LP, a good LP at that. But a double LP, a double album was Fuego? Fire? Ever since then, I just feel like I don't know what it is about Big Crit that people aren't connected to. I don't know. What do you think?
That's a great question. It could be just timing, just situational. Who is out there at the same time that you're trying to pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about like Wale, Kid Cudi, and Drake, they all came out at the same time, same level, but certain, like, Kid Cudi's in his lane his own, Wale's in his own lane, and Drake, he's just in another globe, right?
Right.
It's just like that. Not everybody could be at the same lane. You get to, of course, you could have the rare like J. Cole's and Kendrick Lamar, same class, and they're both on top of the game in the same era. But Big Crit back in 2010 came out, Return of Forever. In 2012, Forever and a Day. Like, I remember when those came out, and these are mixtapes. I don't think those are albums either.
No, those are tapes.
Those are tapes. So yeah, that was the era that he was fighting. He was fighting these other guys in their mixtape era as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we could talk about like Wiz Khalifa was in that same era too.
Definitely Wiz
Right?
Khalifa was in his era, and he was more mainstream at that time than a Drake was. And damn, that's crazy. Wiz was a bit more mainstream in 2010 than Drake was at that time, because everyone had the damn Wiz haircut. Everyone wanted to be a stoner. People started skating. Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah. And it's really hard to kind of remember early 2010. I really had to like sit back and look at the list again on what was coming out. But those were his competition.
Yeah.
And not everybody can make it out the same. I thought he was great. I thought he had a core fan base that will keep up with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's with the times.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is sometimes. I do think that he has a good fan base, though.
He does have a good fan base, and I think Crit is like this soulful Southern type of rapper, and he does show that off really well in Digital Roses Don't Die, which is his latest project, where he has a lot of fusion, where he does a lot of fusion in this record, where it's soul, gospel, rap, and then that southern trap style of music. He takes that all, he mushes them all together, and this is what you get in Digital Roses Do Not Die. And he's a talented cat. Like, it's not a bad album. Like, it's not bad.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe the song choice topics weren't there for me. Wasn't really interested. I know it's like just him. No, if anything, this is his most, I could say, like more down to earth. I'm a level with you, man, like person to person.
Yeah.
Like these song topics are things you could have a conversation with.
Yeah.
That's how I felt listening to this album.
This is definitely
And I haven't
Coffee
listened
Shop.
to him in a while too, so it's like I don't know his new flow, his new ideas. Like, all right, let me check out this new project. And I was like, yeah, this is all right.
This is definitely Coffee Shop music right here.
Coffee shop, before the live jazz band come through, this is what you play.
Definitely.
Not dissing him. I do think it's
not
it
bad.
does give a criteria for a certain audience.
Right. I will say this. I'll critique it in a way because this album is only like 38 minutes long. I don't know why, but every time I kept listening to it, it felt longer.
You see, yes, okay, that is a problem to me. Where sometimes your music is really short, but it feels like it takes forever. That is a problem.
Okay, so it's
I don't know
not
if
just
it has
me.
to do with pacing.
Yeah,
Because he did tweet out, like, oh, if you think it's too short, play it again.
I did see that.
Which is short album to me. Like Earl Sweatshirt, he makes short album music. All right, it's 24 minutes long. I'm gonna repeat it.
Vince Staples
38
self-titled.
minutes. Self-titled, yeah.
Yeah.
But I listened to it once I was finished. I was like, no, this is a good run, one take. I'm not going to like press play again. Like I missed something out. I was able to capture every idea that he had going on. And
Right.
I thought it was good.
Okay, cool.
I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
I'll say decent.
Yeah, it was fine. Okay, I just wanted to say that because I felt like I was alone on it because of that tweet. But yeah, I think it was a nice bit of ideas that he had. I feel like there was a bit of influence there from some of his contemporaries, Kendrick. But it's cool, I'm gonna be that guy. If Kendrick were to hop on these, it probably would have been a bit better. I'm just saying. That's just me. I'm sorry.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Interesting take.
I'm sorry. I mean, hey, freaking Kendrick had that performance. I'm not talking about the Super Bowl, but he had that performance in Vegas, right? And he came out looking like Erykah Badu or some crap like that. All right, I think that can be something that Kendrick would do nowadays, maybe. And it would probably be really well. It would probably be done really well.
Interesting. So yeah, folks, definitely check out the new Big Crit album, Digital Roses Don't Die.
There's some good stuff on there. He does his southern flow in there. He still raps on it, but it's a lot more singing on it too. I will say that he does sing a lot. He does harmonize a lot. He isn't bad like Drake is, in my opinion. Like it's okay. I might want him to rap a bit more, but he does it. He tries to be a bit soulful.
Interesting. You know who's doing a lot of singing and soulfuling?
Jasmine Sullivan with her deluxe album.
The new Vic Mensa EP.
Wait, what?
I was gonna ask you to check it out. I know you're not a big fan of Vic Mensa.
God.
I like Vic Mensa a lot.
Why?
But I do think you should listen to this 4-track EP. It's only 11 minutes long, and I'll just like straight up tell you, it really, really sounded like it was the Drake singing album only EP. Not dissing Vic Mensa. I think Vic Mensa is all talent on his own and can sing, but like the way he was singing in this EP felt like every song was like OG 2013 Drake.
Oh, and that's the Drake I hated when he was singing. Just he was doing that. See, Vic Mensa is beige, people. So you're saying Vic was giving us 11 minutes worth of beige ballots? Nope, skip.
I just wanted you to listen so you could like just experience it too. I was kind of disappointed in myself. Like,
Oh,
I like Vic Mensa though. I do think he's great and very talented.
I know you like
Tape,
Vic Mensa.
Shout out to that. The auto, yeah. But anyways,
Don't shout out
yeah,
the autobiographies.
Jasmine Sullivan.
No. We're not gonna pass through that. The autobiography was not good. Okay, stop it.
Okay, let's talk about Jasmine Sullivan.
Jasmine Sullivan is back, baby, with her deluxe album of Hotels, which came out in the beginning of 2021, January 2021. The deluxe album is called Hotels Motels, which is more tales of hoism. And Jasmine Sullivan is killing it once again. 4 additional tracks, but of course 4 interludes of talking about the story before the tracks. One of my favorite ones is Roster, where the setup was of someone who started to catch feelings and starting to fall in love with this woman. And what he did was he ultimately he dropped all of the other women that he was talking to, which was his roster, as he called it, and he wanted to focus on that specific woman that, you know, he gained feelings for. And the woman ended up playing him and was like, yo, I didn't expect you to catch feelings. This ain't gonna work anymore. You know, everything was cool up until you did that. And you know, it hurt his ego as a man. You know, it hurt his pride. And then that transitioned into one of my favorite tracks, Roster, you know, because, you know, it's a song about having a roster and having options. And, you know, some people can relate to that. I'm not saying me, but some people can relate to that. There's another track where, you know, it's about abuse, you know, falling in love with someone, but, you know, they're hell of abusive. They're hella toxic, but they love the toxicity. I just want to say Jasmine Sullivan did it again. Motels is great. Hotels Motels is great. The deluxe album is great. I can't cheat this year and put this back on my top 10. I don't think that counts, but, you know, if I could, I would. But definitely take a listen to some Motels, Hotels. I'm gonna go out to that track later on at the end of the show. We got like 30 minutes left, so I want y'all to take a listen. It's a great deluxe album. Jasmine Sullivan, we salute you, and we hope you get a damn Grammy or something. I hope so. At least you deserve it, or like a BET Soul Award or something, Soul Train Award or something. You deserve something.
When does the Grammys happen?
I thought they moved it to like March or something. No.
Okay.
Because normally
February
is always like, it's supposed to be award season in February, but, you know, pandemic and all that stuff happened. So like the Academy Awards and the Grammys, they moved from February now.
Interesting. Because once you said something, I just realized like, oh, we didn't have the Grammys award this year.
No.
But yeah, it was moved. It's moved to April 3rd.
Oh, okay. See, there you go. April 3rd.
Postponed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting.
And I think the Academy Awards is like March, I believe, coming up. I could be wrong on that. I did catch some of those Academy Award nominated movies. Yikes.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to those, really. But
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So any other albums you wanted to talk about?
No, there's no other albums that I want to talk about, but I will say this before we get into, you know, the real star of the final moments of the show. I do want to play a song from the track before we get into it, so keep it locked. This is Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing, and this will give you a little bit of a taste on what we're going to talk about next. Kanye West, Ye, The Game, Easy on the new Donda 2 record that isn't out yet. Call that one.
Out where?
On the STEM Players.
There's 4 tracks on the stem player.
Just 4 tracks on the stem player. That's it. Not the full Donda 2 experience yet.
Yeah, not the whole album. I could say maybe it was the completed track, because I don't want to jump straight into it yet.
Let's not do that yet, because I have a lot to say.
But it's definitely one of those things like, hey, I'm still creating the final draft, but here's a copy of Final Draft 1, even though I'm going to finish it at Final Draft 6. You know what I mean? With that final copy, you write final in, it's the final copy.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into it.
Okay, people, because there's a bit of a timeline here when it comes to the Donda 2 listening party. So for those of you who don't know, Kanye West, months back, I believe, what was it, around December?
Yeah.
Said that he was going to drop another album called Donda 2, right? And he said in upcoming weeks that he was going to drop this album on the 22nd of February, 2022, which is weeks away, right? I immediately...
Yeah, we completely forgot to talk about 222, the whole...
Well, I said matter. February 22nd. Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff anyways.
Nothing to believe in.
Right. Well, shoot, don't tell people that on the internet. I believe in, like, chakras and edible dirt. Don't tell them that, okay? It means a lot, okay? It's the most powerful day of the year. And then they're going to say that again next year for 33333 or whatever. No, that doesn't make sense, but whatever.
It won't work.
It won't work. It would work. But anyways, I immediately said that Kanye West is not going to be dropping Donda 2 on the day he said he was going to drop it in full completion. I said he's not doing it. And a lot of Kanye fans, well, I'm not even gonna say Kanye fans, because Kanye fans know. A lot of people who are still, not dedicated fans of Kanye, but like the Kanye of old, they thought that Kanye would actually come through on this and deliver that album on the day he said he would deliver that album. Days leading up to the illustrious day known as 2222222, we started to get some news out there that, Donda 2 would only be available through the stem player that Kanye has been pushing since the release of the first Donda. Which, it got people all riled up because the stem player is like $200 plus tax. So
it was $100 last year.
It was $100 last year. Now it's $200 now plus tax. So I'm gonna say like a good $230. Right, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Plus the shipping and all that, so $230. So people were buying the stem player. Kanye said it's not going to be available on any other streaming outlets. I think that's a damn lie. It's going to come out soon. I just don't think. I think it's going to be like one of those title things again. It's going to be available on the stem player for a while, and then eventually he's going to drop it like he did with The Life of Pablo. That's just my hot take.
Okay.
Couple days go by and it's 222, and guess what? Kanye West is coming out with the listening party, and I'm excited. I know everyone else is excited because Kanye seems to be actually following through with this. So, the beginning of the day, we found out that this was available through IMAX theaters, right? So you have to go to IMAX theaters, whether it be AMC or Regal, purchase some tickets to watch this listening party. Because apparently, earlier on in the day, there was no other outlets in which you can watch this show. It's only through the IMAX. And I don't know if you know this, we live in New York. IMAX is not cheap, right, Bastion?
28. Roughly $28
exactly
before tax.
And I don't know if you deal with Kanye fans, but these people have no lives, okay? They bought out all the freaking theaters. I tried, okay? I tried. So I was upset.
Wait. You're talking to the wrong person about this.
I'm talking to the people, Bash. I'm not talking to you.
Because I saw The Life of Pablo in the movie theater.
I know you did. And didn't you
I
watch
saw Jesus is King in the movie theater.
And didn't you see, wasn't there a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy movie too?
No, everybody saw that. That was on TV. That was on MTV.
Okay. But it was in the theater too, no?
No, never.
No? Okay, I'm thinking about something
No.
else then.
He does have another movie that came out in a 7-screen, but it never came out for the public to view.
Yeah, he talked about that with Zane Lowe. I remember that.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, when
So
we
yeah,
get
they sold out. Like there's no shows available
right,
to watch in IMAX.
right, no shows
Bummer.
available. But out of nowhere, 2 hours before this thing starts, well, because initially this was supposed to start at 9 p.m., right? So at like 7:30, this stream will be available for Twitch, for YouTube, and Amazon Music. Awesome. Okay, great. This starts at 9. All right, sick. Click the link. All right, let's go, Kanye. All right. All we kept hearing was this freaking heartbeat. 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 A little bit of white noise. Heartbeat. Heartbeat. Heartbeat goes faster. I'm like, okay, maybe, this is the anticipation of, oh snap, this is gonna begin. Heartbeat. Heartbeat. Oh, is that the crowd background? Oh, okay, maybe starting now. Heartbeat. What time is it now? Oh, 10:30? Heartbeat. 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 Bro, what the hell's going on, man? Yo, I'm giving Kanye 11. I'm giving Kanye until 11 o'clock. If this does not start at 11, I'm giving up. I'm going to bed. Screw this. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Heartbeat. Heartbeat. All of a sudden, the freaking house goes on fire and the show begins. Like, that's how it starts. I kid you not. There's no black fade in to the shot. No. It just goes straight to the shot and then the house explosion. And that's how the Donda 2 listening party began.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting way to start the show. And what, you want me to continue?
Yes,
or
please. Yes, please.
You just set the scene.
Yes, please. I just set up the scene of waiting for damn near an hour and a half for the show to start.
Okay, I was doing multiple things, but I had it in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we like to talk about it, because this is still a very interesting way to market an album, because the approach is very weird. I could say I don't think anyone has ever done it, let alone done it twice within almost a year of each other. Because Donda came out like August, if I recall.
It came out August. He had like 3 listening parties initially in July.
And having a listening party, the concept of it is very interesting. I don't know what artists could do that in order for you to bring people in and not only support and like pay for a ticket, but also buy your merch. So people there were buying certain Yeezys, they're buying the Gap hoodies and stuff. When I heard great things about the quality of it, so that sounds cool. In terms of the music itself, once it first started, it was good. But it feels the same way as the first Donda one, where you could see the ideas in most songs where, oh, this song is complete. This song needs a real verse.
Right.
This guy is humming throughout the thing. So, okay, they're probably going to fix this later on. Then, certain guests are coming in. I think the first guest was The Game.
Yes, with Easy.
Easy.
Which is a completed track.
And which I could say, like, Easy sounds better within the context of the album than it did as a solo track.
Yes. I think.
So,
I'm sorry. I think one of the craziest bars Kanye said was like, we're gonna go to court together. Matter of fact, bring your sister. The implementation the implication that he's talking about Chloe. We're gonna go to
Mhm.
court together, because Tristan Thompson is a jackass. But anyways, I thought that was a
Oh,
nice.
really? That's what you got from it?
That's what I
Then
got
once you
from
read
it.
your
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, that's what I got
That's
from it.
that's okay. But in terms of the show, visually, it was captivating. They knew what they wanted to do. They had the scenes. They had the
Yes,
certain shots that they
yes.
knew they had to hit. Imagine a house on fire surrounded by like a lake, a very like short lake,
And Kanye is
not
standing on
not
that
too deep,
water.
and
It's very symbolic. It's
like
very biblical.
you could try to create something. You could try to look into the symbols because he is a storyteller. So there is a symbol because throughout the show it starts with the moon, then it goes into eclipse, then after that it's just the shining sun that's just burning in the background. And
Yes.
I thought that was really cool as well. And we could talk about the show as a two-part. Part one is the Donda 2, like the actual album or the start of the album,
Yes.
and it's good. It's clear cut. There's ideas. As I said, the first guest that came out was the game. The second was like the Migos,
Right.
and
Baby
the Migos had an
Keem.
interesting song, Baby Keem. I ain't seen no Baby Keem.
Yeah, he has a song with the Migos.
Oh, Baby Keem was in it. Interesting.
Yes.
I kind of miss certain things like that. I
Right.
know Migos was there.
Right. There was some XXX Tentacion vocals as well.
Yeah, I got 2 tracks with XXXTentacion,
Yeah.
and it's placed very nicely actually.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where you felt like this was like the idea of the song too.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting as well.
Kanye
then-
is a better DJ Khaled than DJ Khaled would ever be. Just want to say that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I was wondering which track DJ Khaled worked on because they were hanging out in the studio together. I wonder if DJ
Ooh.
Khaled had a track on that.
I did see that video. I did see that clip. I don't think we've heard it yet. It might be on the final product, which it's not going to be out now. I already told you when. I feel like it is, but
I got my dose. Like I know there's going to be a completion somewhere because if he didn't do the concert, he could have just disappeared and like not talk about it again. But
like
to
he
show
normally
like
does.
yeah, exactly. Like he never show a draft or a preview and like disappear right after. It's like no, this is happening. It's all right, cool. He's working his creative juices. Amazing.
Yes.
So we get like a whole 45, maybe 50 minutes of new songs and great ideas.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, the choir starts coming in
Grand.
and they start singing.
Grand.
And it was just, yeah, it felt like this grand thing. It felt like a movie scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? It felt like this is either the beginning or the end. I couldn't really picture it because it came out at the end and I knew he was going to perform music. His Quavo leaked the track list online. So you see that he's going to play some of Donda. So I was like, all right, so he's going to play his first tracks because those joints are complete.
Right. And also,
and then you see that Alicia Keys is going to be there.
absolutely. And so I thought with, playing the Donda 1 records, I thought this was like a way for the crowd to get involved too, because of course, Donda 1 being the finished project, and there's a lot of, records on that album that people love, and TikTok is a thing. So, I think people would have fun singing those records live in the stadium.
The way I took those songs coming back is like, hey, Alicia Keys is going to perform, so we need something to kind of help her get prepared in between. So I thought like the chorus was going to be that then Alicia Keys will come, but it's like, you look at the track list, there's a bunch of other songs. So this is where the show becomes a bit iffy for those that didn't watch it and you heard about it. As Kanye starts rapping as the song started performing, Kanye kind of walked to the mic to pick it up, and he tried to get on flow. And then he's like, forget it, skip the song. And then he tried to get on flow again, then he threw the mic away in and he was just in disgust. So now you're watching as a viewer. It's like, what's going on? Did he not feel like rapping? Did he forget the lyrics?
Does he just want to
this
vibe
album just
out?
came out. Yeah, did you not want to vibe out? Like, you start thinking to yourself, it's like, okay, this is not working out. All right, fine. And then, Alicia Keys comes in. They wrap it up, right? Alicia Keys comes in. She sings. She plays on the piano so beautifully. And the song is amazing. Kanye's part goes on. Straight up instrumentals, no vocals. Like, okay. So I guess they don't have the stems for him. And then Fabio comes up. And
Poor Fabio.
It's embarrassing. I don't know who's embarrassing for. Is embarrassing for me, the listener, or for him, the rapper, who thinks he's rapping on beat. Definitely has zero air control whatsoever. And he just can't catch it up with the beat. And now I'm starting to understand why Kanye kind of threw the mic in disgust. Is because the music from outside in the stadium was not matching up to like maybe the earpiece.
Right. So it felt like, the reason why, people who were adjusting their glasses to make sure they weren't watching Blueface rap, that's the reason why. It's because of audio technical difficulties, and it just threw it off. Again, you mentioned Fabio Foreign again. Off the Grid came on as well, and Fabio, bless his heart, he tried, man. He tried, and if Off the Grid, that he has a long verse on that track, and he tried. Bless his heart, he tried, but it's a no from me, dog. It was not good. It was just not good. It was not good.
And it's strange because I'm pretty sure that he knows the song very well.
Of course he does. That's what brought him into prominence now. That track right there where he held his own against Kanye.
So seeing that happen, and now the show is kind of becoming this weird audio disaster film, I'm like, all right, maybe he'll just kind of yell at somebody and they'll just play the stems for the rest of the show, because I do see two songs I don't recognize. So one song that comes up, a new song, plays straight, sounds great, sounds cool, just splitting up the house around that part. And then you have, as before Fabio came in, you have Playboy Cardi in this kind of whole vampire Joker outfit, just yelling through the mic.
That nigga looked like he was Jeff Hardy.
And I was like, okay, this is the show we're getting. This is how we're ending the show. Like, I love Playboy Cardi. This is terrible. His screaming is offbeat. Everything's offbeat. Fabio's back. He's rapping his heart out, and it's just not working, man.
He stopped after a while too. He's just like, nah, this. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. But one of the funniest thing too, I don't know if it was the last track or second to last track, but we finally heard Big Draco.
That's right. With the verse of the century. Probably he stole the show. Soulja Boy Tell Him, a.k.a. Big Draco, Soulja. He is now finally on Donda 2, and he came through with a hell of a verse. Hell of a verse. I was shocked.
I don't remember the verse, but I think I know I liked it.
I loved it. I loved it. As soon as he said Draco, I'm like, oh, okay. And he flowed on the beat. He had some great punchlines. It was incredible.
So I was kind of surprised that we got a Soulja Boy track. I'm pretty sure, Kanye didn't make a joke about it. And then Soulja Boy was pissed off for 2 months, and they probably spoke in person. It's like, all right, let's fix this. Now I have to be on it. And
right.
I thought that was the butt of the joke. I thought that was like the biggest punchline. Like, the joke was told 3 months ago, and boom, punchline. It's like, all right, this is perfect.
Now we can heal.
Now we can heal. But overall, as terms of like a live performance in the show, it was definitely a great show. Of course, it fell on itself like a house of cards. Yeah. But while it was up in that pyramid form, it was very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. The best way I described it to people, Bastion, I was like, the best way to describe the Donda 2 listening party was the entire season, all seasons of Game of Thrones, started off really well, started off really strong. Everything sounded great, everything looked great, characters were great. But then as those seasons progressed, well, you know what happened as the seasons
The
progressed.
writing, the writing got hit, and the structure
just
and
fell.
the pacing was off.
Pacing was off. Everything just there was a damn Starbucks cup. Okay, it just fell on its ass. Okay, and that is what Donda 2 is. And you know the funny thing is, I feel, well, just looking at Kanye's face, at Ye's face throughout that whole second half of the listening party, where you knew someone had to go find God. Someone's ass is getting fired. And you know, Kanye stands, Ye stands, they do their homework, and boy oh boy did they find the audio director and the technical director. They found their asses quick.
Well, it's like we had to find at the end of the show. It was like the credits, and just like, well, these are the people to blame for the terrible second half.
They found them on.
I thought that was hilarious.
They found them on IG though. That was the crazy part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was insane.
So much so that one of the directors had to be like, "Yo, I was not responsible for this."
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Oh man, I wanted Ye to pull like a Michael Jackson. I showed you the clip where he was firing some dude on stage while he was singing "I Can't Stop Loving You." I wanted Ye to do something like that. I wanted him to freestyle. One of y'all need God. Go find God.
Job loss.
Job gone. Break down. Break down. Oh man, MJ, you are the GOAT still, my friend. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. We told you so. Kanye's Donda 2 is not out yet, and it will not be out for some time. I say April is the day, is the month that we're getting this. That we're getting.
Whoa. I would say end of March.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. I'm saying April.
April. Okay.
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
Yes, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign out for the peoples? Next week is March.
Yeah, next month is March. Definitely tune in to Black Seinfeld Show about absolutely nothing with me, Bastionissa, my co-host Giovanni Anglin, and we're on Instagram, Twitter at Black Seinfeld NY. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. And we also have our own website, blackseinfeld.com.
That's right. We are going out once again to Jasmine Sullivan's roster off of the deluxe album Hotels Motels. Stay tuned. We'll see you again next week in the beginning of March, Women's History Month and all that jazz. Peace.